And of course, it's time to do business here on Joy News Prime with me, Beverly Broohm. We take a look at the details of our stories now. And the World Bank has lowered Ghana's growth rate to below 2% this year, placing the country at the 29th position in sub-Saharan Africa. That's according to the World Bank's April 2023 Africa Pulse report. This is lower than the 2.7% earlier forecast by the Bretton Woods institution. We have more in the following report.
According to the World Bank, the expected low growth rate in the country is characterized by challenges within the fiscal economy and increased interest rates impacting on businesses and household spending. It further said the Ghanaian economy has been struggling with high levels of public debt and elevated inflation fueled by a sharp weakening of the cedi. To curb the rising inflation, it said the Bank of Ghana raised its policy rate by a record 1,500 basis points to 29.5% in March 2023 from 14.5% in December 2021. The World Bank added that the recovery of economic activity in the sub-Saharan Africa is multi-speed with wide variation across countries. The Bretton Woods institution had earlier projected a 2.7% expansion of the Ghanaian economy in 2023.
Meanwhile, economist Dr. Patrick Asuming has called on the government to fix the structure of the economy if it wants to bring it back to a sustainable level. He spoke earlier on Business Live.
This is not surprising at all. If you look at the recent data we've seen on the Ghanaian economy, it clearly points to a further weakening in the real sector. So last month, when the Bank of Ghana released the current data on the economy, we saw that the real composite index of economic activity had declined. We've seen a huge decline in the month of January. And then we've also seen that the domestic debt exchange that we did has really weakened the position, financial strength of the banks. So it's going to limit the ability to support economic growth. And then we've also seen some of the policy measures that the Bank of Ghana has put in place by way of raising the policy rate. All of these are expected to affect business sentiment going forward. So it's not a surprise at all. I think it's more important to maybe look more medium term. It's okay to boost the growth target, to meet the growth target for the year, but we have to understand that, the source of the growth and the character of the growth matters. So we have to think about rebuilding the economy in such a way that it's going to be on a sustainable path and it's going to be more robust. So it's good that we get the IMF funds coming in and then we get the program started. But we have to understand that the structure of the economy has a problem. The structure of public finances have a problem. So if it means taking some shorter term pains so that we'll be able to change the structure for the long term going forward, I think that's what we should be doing. Not necessarily trying to do short-term measures to boost the growth.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Revenue Authority has indicated its preparedness to quickly start enforcing the 3 key taxes passed by Parliament last Friday. This will be done as soon as President Akufo-Addo gives his assent to these levies. George Riafe has the rest of the story.
Joy Business understands the Ghana Revenue Authority is already working on the regulations that would guide the implementation of these taxes. This is expected to give fine details on how the enforcement should be done. These regulations would also guide the Ghana Revenue Authority on specific areas that these taxes should be applied and also deal with the ambiguities that is often associated with some taxes when it's passed by a parliament. However, officials of the Ghana Revenue Authority insist these regulations will only be made public after the President signs off these bills. It is not clear for now why the President is yet to give his assent to these bills, looking at how it was rushed to secure Parliament's approval to help fast-track the process of securing an IMF board approval for Ghana's economic program. But looking at the work done so far by the Ghana Revenue Authority on these bills, in terms of the regulations, it is clear that it wouldn't take that long if the President to give his assent today for the implementation to take off fully. While on the other hand, more business associations are turning their attention to the President to delay the signing of these bills for more engagement. They argue that if these taxes are implemented, it will lead to the collapse of more businesses in the country.
Now, let's hear next from tax expert and partner at Deloitte Ghana, Gideon Ayeowu, who spoke earlier on Business Live.
Based on my understanding, Parliament has passed the law. It is left. The only thing the president can do now is to assent to it. Based on the Constitution, a tax bill cannot be rejected or it cannot be vetoed, as we have with the other general type of bills presented to the president. So unless another repeal is sent and then we have a new law, from my understanding, this is bound to become law based on the dates of which is assented as well as gazetted. By regulations, the Revenue Administrations Act of Ghana, which empowers the Ghana Revenue Authority to give out or pass this regulation through the Minister of Finance, actually provides that these regulations, they are not substantive law, if I will put it in such words. They are there to aid or guide the implementation of the laws, and they do not override the laws. They help us understand, and they also help the taxpayers comply with the law. So they just give the general principles and purposes of the tax provision, but they are not our law itself. However, when they have the force of law in the sense that when you go against them, you will be penalized. So it is for the GRA to bring these regulations that would then make it easier for you and I and businesses to be able to abide by these new tax provisions.
Government has assured that it is working to build a resilient financial sector despite losses that was incurred by banks as a result of the domestic debt exchange program. According to Deputy Minister of Finance, Abena Osei-Asare, the Government Stability Fund will serve as a temporary liquidity and insolvency to cushion banks. She was speaking at the launch of the financial education campaign.
The financial education campaign was launched to build a positive financial behavior among Ghanaians. The campaign is tailored to help Ghanaians select financial services that will meet their needs and prevent them from falling prey to Ponzi schemes. Speaking at the launch of the campaign, Deputy Finance Minister Abena Osei-Asare said government is committed to helping banks that were impacted by the domestic debt exchange program to remain resilient.
And despite the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian-Ukraine war, as well as the domestic debt exchange program, the Ghanaian financial sector remains resilient. It is a testament to the financial sector restructuring exercise undertaken by government way back in 2017. The Monetary Policy Committee in their latest release revealed that the banking industry remains relatively stable, despite recording some losses from the domestic debt exchange program. However, to further strengthen the sector and provide a stability backstop to the industry, government, in collaboration with the financial sector regulators, is working on the Ghana Financial Stability Fund. This is a standby liquidity and solvency financing mechanism to help mitigate the potential impact of government's debt operations on the financial sector. The fund will provide temporary liquidity and solvency support to licensed financial institutions that may face liquidity and solvency challenges arising from their participation in the domestic debt exchange program. This will provide further support to the financial institutions in addition to the various regulatory forbearances provided by their respective regulators.
Head of Financial Sector Division at the Ministry of Finance, Patience Akukuma Adevat, the campaign would help individuals to make informed financial decisions and prevent them from falling prey to Ponzi schemes.
You'd realize that, especially when we went to the field, and from what was played, a lot of people don't know. They'll say that, okay, you come and save with me or come and invest with me and I'll give you this amount of money. Okay, sometimes what they do is that they promise a return, unjustifiably higher than the average. It is very normal for a financial institution to provide or give a return, okay, which is slightly higher than the normal government of Ghana instrument rates that has been given, but it shouldn't be unjustifiably high. And that is what these schemes would promise. Will give you 100% return. And you should ask yourself, Is it feasible? Where are they going to get the money to pay you? And so, yes, we are going to emphasize on Ponzi schemes, the operations of Ponzi schemes, characteristics of Ponzi schemes, and other things to enable them know and then move away from that. Right.
The financial education campaign will be run in various parts of the country for 6 months.
We turn our attention to agriculture now, and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations has reiterated calls to the government to partner with farmers directly to enable them access and utilize existing opportunities in the agri sector, as well as create new opportunities through engagements. Speaking at the third edition of the National Dialogue organized by the Ghana Federation of Forest and Farm Producers, National Facilitator of Forest and Farm Facility, Elvis Kuda, urged relevant government agencies to communicate with farmers on developing actionable plans to help farmers survive climate change.
Variability has affected various agriculture and forest-based value chains and contributing to poverty, food and nutrition insecurity, deforestation, among others. The Ghana Federation of Forest and Farm Producers, in helping farmers adapt to climate change, implemented the GAFAP Innovative Climate Action, which turns the challenges to opportunities within the dry savanna landscape of Ghana. National Facilitator of Forest and Farm Facility at FAO, Elvis Kuda, spoke at a national dialogue organized by GAFAP.
Yeah, government has rolled out a number of initiatives relating to climate change and also access to finance, social protection, and also markets as well. And most of these programs have achieved some successes, but you also still have some major challenges where some of these farmers are unable to access these existing opportunities. So this forms an opportunity for government agencies to be able to explain what these opportunities are and what the requirements are, and collectively can agree on an action plan to support GAFAP and its members to meet these requirements and be able to become partners and not just beneficiaries to some of these government interventions.
Vice President of the Ghana Federation of Forest and Farm Producers, Halima Said, disclosed that the forum was aimed at creating a platform to enable farmers network with financial institutions and learn new marketing techniques.
We are here because issues of access to credit has been very critical. Issues of market for our producer organizations, marketing at the right places for the right prices has been very intentional. And then we think that a forum like this or a dialogue session like this creates us that opportunity to be able to discuss. And so far it has been good, because if you see all the invited guests, that organization, they've all come from UN bodies, they are here, from state institutions, they are here, social protection organizations are here. So it just gives us the hope that we are in for a good cause and we are going to end well. And then at the end of the day, the green recovery that we are all looking for, it will be achieved.
Meanwhile, former Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, J. Yeboah, indicated that farmers through the dialogue sought to learn how to properly project themselves and highlight their significance to the ecosystem.
We're hoping that if we're able to agree on set goals, what our interests are, what we stand for, what we want to achieve, then we will try to find a way of articulating it well, and our stakeholders and supporters might appreciate it better and see how they can come along with us and support us.
The GAFAP Agenda 2030 seeks to promote climate resilience, alleviate poverty, and build inclusive communities.
Now, the Trade Union Congress, TUC, is urging the government to call Sunon Asogli Power Ghana to avert any planned industrial action, according to the union efforts to get the company to reinstate the 3 dismissed local union leaders who were employees of the company, as well as refrain from the acts of intimidation, fear and panic it unleashed on workers have proven futile. Addressing the media, Deputy General Secretary of the TUC, Joshua Ansah, cautioned management of Sunon Asogli and other employers to desist from what it describes as violation and attacks on workers' rights or face the wrath of the union.
Let's sit down and fold our arms for management to actually abuse our fundamental human rights. The only crime for these 3 dismissed workers is that they have formed a union and have been elected union leaders, which is unheard of. This country, after 66 years of independence, we don't think we deserve this treatment from foreigners. So this is a signal. We are sending this warning to all employers in this very country, and especially Sonnen Asegli, that it better listen to our demand and reinstate the 3 dismissed workers, and also stop the abuse on workers at the very company. Otherwise, he will face the brunt of workers in this very country, because we are initiating a lot of actions, and we don't want to get there, because we want this country to be governed in peaceful manner. But when they go beyond what we want, it will be detrimental, and this economy will face the right of workers in this very country. So we are asking government to direct the company to do what is right and to avert any possible industrial action in this very country. We mean it, and we are going to do it until our boys are reinstated, until they stop abusing workers' rights, until they do what is right. They will never see peace with workers of this very country. As it is now, we are eyeing, and our only hope is that the Minister for Employment should lead this campaign and should ensure that this is his sector, and he should ensure that there is peace in this very country. It's sad that this age workers are being trampled upon because they want to join a union. I don't think it is right. And unions should not sit down and fold their arms for these things to happen. And I'm saying, I'm very serious about this one. The whole workers of this country will come after any employer who is into this illegal activity, especially a champion of workers' rights and abusing our rights. You will not sit down and look on.
Now, Newmont Ghana Gold Limited has equipped over 160 young people in the Ahafo region with relevant skills and technical know-how in various construction vocations. This is part of efforts to reduce unemployment rates in the region and to increase local participation at the Ahafo mines of Newmont. There's more in the following report.
Dubbed the Construction Workers Training, the 3-month Employable Skills Acquisition Program started in 2021 follows several training programs implemented by Newmont Ghana Gold Limited. The mining company has since 2005 rolled out numerous local human resource enhancement programs, including apprenticeship, learnership, female top-up, graduate trainee, and artisanal small-scale mining alternative livelihood training. The training programs aims at enhancing local capacities in the host communities for future job opportunities at the mine and in the extractive industry. Speaking at the graduation ceremony for the trainees, Director of the Ahafo North Project, Andries Havenka, said the services of artisans will be highly appreciated during the construction of the company's new mine.
We established this training program to train our local artisans from our host communities to enhance the capacity to meet the standards and the requirements and the approved certifications for delivering the work and future work opportunities within the extractive industry. After 3 months of dedication, continuous learning and commitment, our 72 trainings have completed their training successfully and are ready for the job market. It's our hope that when the Ahafo North project begins construction, we will source skills from these graduates and graduates who are well trained and equipped to support our project.
48 young people enrolled in the program are set to commence their training in masonry and carpentry, while the remaining undergo equipment and crane operations tuition later in the year. Joseph Danso is Senior Manager Sustainability and International Relations.
And today we are having about 72 graduates who have completed training in welding, scaffolding and steel bending. We have another 48 trainees who are now going to start their skills training in masonry and carpentry. So today's event is very important and is actually marking the beginning of the Ahafo North project. As we can see, everybody here and then Nananom and everybody very excited about what is coming up. And this project is strategic to Newmont because this is going to be our third mine in Ghana, apart from the Ahafo South and Achim mine.
The Ahafo region has records of attacks by youth and unknown assailants on the mine over their non-participation in gold exploitation. A recent attack saw residential facilities at the mine ransacked and properties vandalized. Regional Minister George Boache wants stakeholders, including the youth, to live amicably within the mining enclave to attract more investors to boost the local economy.
I don't think you will invest in any town or village in Ghana where there is instability. I don't want to give examples. So industrial peace is key to any development.
Beneficiaries like Opoku Enim, who has been unemployed since 2018 after graduating with an HND in marketing, were grateful for the training.
I completed Sunyani Technical University. I graduated from 2018 and I've been in the house. So Newmont asked us for training and I picked welding and fabrication. Yeah, we went for 3 months training and it was so good. I learned a lot.
I was selling clothes before I went for the training, and the training is going to help very much. When we went, we were confused, but as time goes on, everything was perfect, and I think it's going to help a lot. And I would like to thank the Newmont for giving us such an opportunity. We are very grateful for that. Yeah.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku, Ahafo Region.
On that note, we end the bulletin tonight. Thank you so much for your time here. For more business news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business.